Namaste. I am Gloria Grace Rand coming to you live on this Wednesday. It is the end of November. I'm recording this. I can't believe it is November 30th. And where did the year go? My goodness gracious. And in fact, this is the this time of year is actually this is the end of my 3rd year of doing the podcast. We're going to be entering season 4 with in the beginning of December. So thank you for watching and for listening to this podcast. First of all, I so appreciate you. It has been a complete joy. It is one of the things that one of my favorite things to do in my business is to do this podcast. And what's interesting about that fact is that coming into today, I didn't know what I was going to talk about today. And normally I will create some graphics and I'll set up StreamYard to record the podcast. I would normally do that on Tuesday, but yesterday had no idea, didn't know what it was going to do. And so this morning, finally, the idea came to me. And it's really about taking a stand for yourself and making a decision to be the person you want to be. That's what I want to talk about today, because for the last week or so, and really it's been going on a bit for the last couple of months, actually, I've been sort of going up and down in my emotions and in what I'm wanting to do with my life, with my business. And my weight has been going up and down as I've been indulging at times and in foods that really don't serve me well. They serve my emotions and they serve my ego and my mind, but they don't serve my body. And this morning, it was so interesting. It's like one thing was interesting. It was the dream I had as I was waking up this morning. I was dreaming about books and movies, and basically movies based on books, and trying to remember what books I liked better than the movie that I thought was better. And I was trying to remember because it seemed like I'm like going through this list and was trying to remember which what book was it that I really liked better than the movie, even though the movie was good. And I finally landed on, I think the one was actually Jaws. I read the book Jaws after I saw the movie, and I loved the movie. Don't get me wrong, but the book was even better. But anyway, so that's how I started my day. That was what I started with, thinking about that. And then I also decided this morning, and that is the important point today, is making a decision. Was I decided that I'd been kind of in a funky mood the last few days, and I decided that today was going to be a good day to have a good day. And then I started thinking of that song. You may have heard of it. It's been out for a while. It's from Michael Franti, and it's called "Good Day for a Good Day." And the refrain. So this is what I started thinking. Today would be a very good day to have a good day. Today would be a very good day just to have a good day. A little more love, a little more laughter, a little more good vibes, less disaster. Today would be a very good day just to have a good day all day long. And that's what I decided, that today is going to be a good day all day long. And I consciously made the decision to have a really good breakfast this morning. And I had one of my favorite breakfasts, which is fried eggs, some sauerkraut, and an avocado. And I know when I first saw this combination, I saw this meal actually in a book that I've been reading. I don't know if I mentioned that book. It's called Make Peace with Fat. And it's by a woman named Mihaela Talakan, I think is her last name. I'll put the link to it in the show notes because it's an excellent book. I met her this summer, but anyway, this was one of the meals she has. She has like 7 days of meals in there. And I never liked sauerkraut when I was a kid, but now I like sauerkraut, and I love sauerkraut with eggs. I don't know, something about sauerkraut. avocado, eggs, it was a good thing. So before I did have this wonderful breakfast, though, I did decide that I wanted to get back into my routine, which is going for a walk and doing some reading and, of a spiritual nature, and then doing journaling. Now, the last couple of days, actually, the last couple of days I didn't journal at all. The last time I journaled was Sunday, and I only did one page. And as I started journaling today, I'm like, I really want to do 3 pages, but also part of me does not want to do 3 pages. and, and I made myself get past the first page and into the second page. And I'm so glad I did because in that journaling process, I started really exploring, you know, what is going on with me? Why am I having these issues where I've been not taking as good care of myself as I should? And and I started asking myself, what do you want? What do you want, Gloria? And and there was resistance coming up just even answering that question. I'm like, okay, this is good. Why are you resisting? So I'm journaling that. What is coming up? And essentially, it's old fears and things like that, and I finally decided that it was okay and to be okay to have the fear, and that's okay too, and the beauty of it is I still get to decide how I want to be today, how I want to go through my day, because the past is the past, whatever, it's gone, can't do anything more about it. Future isn't here yet, tomorrow's not here. All I have is today. All we have is today. And so I know I'm talking about me a lot here, but I invite you to look at this in your life as well and see where you have been experiencing some things like that and realizing that there is so much power in claiming your power and taking a stand for yourself and saying, okay, whatever happened, whatever choices I made in the past, they're gone. What can I do today? What can I do right now? Do I want today to be a good day? And if you decide that yes, you want to have a good day, then you say that. Yes, today's going to be a good day. I'm deciding that. And it's interesting. I was interviewing a woman yesterday for the podcast. Her episode will be out later, but we were sort of talking about this as well, and talking about the idea of putting out those good intentions and saying, taking a stand for yourself. And so yeah, that's ultimately what I'm doing today is encouraging myself to to do that, to be a stand for myself. And I encourage you to be a stand for yourself as well, because you are all you've got ultimately. No matter what happens in the world, um, you are the person who has to take care of yourself. Nobody else can do it for you. And so decide that. And I was looking over. I've got a bulletin board over here where I have a lot of inspirational messages and things. And there was um, one phrase on there, and I learned this I was at a personal development workshop back in 2016, I think, and the facilitator said this statement, and I wrote it down and saved it, and it says, "Stop, look, and choose to be, do, have, which takes being here now." And that's it. It's like we get to decide right now how we want to be, what we want to do, what we want to have, and it really takes being here in this moment and making that, I was gonna say choice and then decision, and so it's coming out kind of mixed there. But deciding, making that choice and deciding, how do I wanna be? What kind of person do I want to be today? Isn't it wonderful that we have the gift of the present? The This present moment is truly a gift, and we get to decide how we want to be in this moment. And that's just it's so wonderful. And I know sometimes, and I'll just say this is for me. Sometimes uh, I get into this automatic pilot and I'm not thinking, I'm not being mindful. And I'm just reacting. I'm just reacting to feelings, reacting to situations, but again, defaulting to like old patterns of behavior instead of stopping and looking and choosing and saying, okay, this is how I might have acted in the past, but is that really the way I want to act right now? And that's why I decided this morning today would be a very good day just to have a good day. Because I've had some okay days, but I want to have a good day today. So will you join me? Will you have a good day today too? I hope you will. I think it's important. And so along with this theme of deciding, I of course wanted to look for a daily word message from Unity. And I found one. This is an oldie. So I was 9 years old when this when this message was published. It was published on February 24th, 1972. So you do the math. You know how old I am. Um, and so I was looking for decision, I think was the word that came up. But this is the affirmation. It says, I take my stand for good. God's presence is at work in me, and only good finds expression through me. See, that's a good affirmation, taking the stand for good. That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing today, anyway. I hope you're joining me in that. So now here's the reading. There is power in the simple act of deciding. When we decide on a course of action which we feel is right and good, we also receive the power to act. When the mind is indecisive, there may be confusion and anxiety. But the moment we make up our mind, there's an inward calm, out of which comes the motivation to move forward. To be truly happy and at peace, we need to take a strong stand for good. We need to be determined that nothing shall enter into our mind and heart which would make us unhappy or afraid. By taking our stand for good, we deepen our awareness of God's abiding presence. Our faith becomes strong and unwavering. Let us decide to think and act only in terms that are conducive to our highest happiness and peace of mind. Let us decide to do as much good as we can and to live as effectively as possible. And then the scripture reading is from I guess it's the first book of Kings, 18:21. How long will you go limping with two different opinions? That's an interesting phrase, interesting question, isn't it? I can see actually what that really means is that when you're dealing with two different opinions, it really hobbles you, figuratively speaking, and possibly literally, but at least figuratively speaking, it hobbles you from going forward because you're stuck. You're stuck between which way do I go? What do I do? And when you decide that I think it comes from the Latin of to cut off. So you cut off whatever it was you were going to do and you decide now and say, okay, this is the way forward. This is what I'm going to do in this moment right now. And that's power. It's a powerful thing to do. It's a powerful thing to do. And you owe it to yourself to do that, to again, take the stand for yourself, take the stand for good. And then when you do that, I love how it says there's an inward calm out of which comes the motivation to move forward. And I experienced that today because it's helping me in just claiming that today I'm going to have a good day. Then it's propelled me to take action, to do the things that I know are good for me, that are my way of practicing self-care. So it's meditation. I spent a long time meditating this morning. It's journaling, doing those 3 pages instead of stopping at 1, but forcing myself to really dig deep and let inspiration arise, and eating a healthy meal. So all of these things are how I take care of myself. And doing this podcast actually is how I also take care of myself, because it's my way of serving you by showing you and explaining to you things that, things I've learned, lessons I've learned, and being able to pass that on to you. It's my way of paying it forward. So I hope I hope this has been a benefit for you today. And yeah, it made me feel good. So I'm hoping it makes you feel good as well. Because that's why I say I love doing the podcast. I love interviewing people, and I met yesterday. I was fortunate to be on the National Publicity Summit, where I met a whole bunch of wonderful people, and that you will be hearing from in the months to come on the podcast, because I will be following up with several of them who I think are going to make excellent guests. So now, um, just as a quick reminder, I'm going to pop this little ticker up on the screen for those of you watching on YouTube. Just as a reminder, I am here to serve and to be able to help you if you are going through any types of issues where you're having trouble deciding something, or you just need you need another person to bounce some ideas off of. I am available and willing and able to have a conversation with you. Now, whether we ultimately wind up working together is something we'll both have to decide. It may or may not be right, but hey, there's no harm in having a conversation. So if you would like to have a conversation with me about what's going on in your life right now, go to engagewithgloria.com. That's ENGAGE with Gloria, GLORIA.com. And you'll be taken right to my calendar where you can schedule an appointment with me. So I would love to be able to be there for you if you need some help. And now, my other thing that I'd love to do is what I'm going to do for you today is to share a light language message with you. And my intention and wish that the message that will come through uh, from the angelic realm, from galactic realms, whatever comes through today, will be the message that you need to hear. And perhaps it will be one that will enable you to make a decision today that will be in your best interest. So again, as I often remind you, if this is your first time listening to one of my solo episodes and you haven't heard light language before, it's it is a clients who've experienced it find it to be very relaxing. So that's why I always recommend, if you're listening to this while you're driving, um, pause the podcast and come back later, because I feel that this is much better received when you can take the time where you can perhaps sit quietly, maybe close your eyes, and just allow the sounds, the the tones, whatever comes through, because sometimes it's singing, sometimes it's speaking. It's nothing that your logical brain will understand, but your soul will get it. And that's my intention, is that your soul will receive the message. That's for your highest good today. So 연도코야타에 자시 건너기하 안내요코이까 연노키야테 어서코 연노키야트 슈코아 인노코리아노키야 아서코 연노코하 에건 연노키하 아서코 연노쿠헤헤야 오호샤나키카 안노요코리타헤 Oshino. Hakoshi koliano koyapata. He koniano koria sakaliano koyapa. He sakochi shano koryata nina ne kaleriato kikashika. He kanano koliano koryapata kikashika linano. He kaliano koryakali no kukishako he he. Anno koryano kika. He nako ho sa hoyane kea. Asakoyotika okoyuchi no he akoya no kuashia haia okoshikani oko hekata koishakani no koyata Esakoni ontokuya pateya kariana kia ekoneo kolinda te koshikariata kiata shikateriotu ekariano koria pati kalieta ti kaya pu Esakoyo no ko karia no kore pataki ka tsikario to kore pataki anakiata. Esako shikania no ko apanakiata. Ekanyo ko anaku keka sono koyoto ekaea ekaliano kiate asio koa. Ekotiano ku waioto keka seiano kiha. Sokoya no koyatati, hatkokia no asokohisha no koyata, ekohuyo. Thank you for being with me today. And I am so grateful, so grateful for all of you, those of you who have been subscribers for a while, those of you who maybe just stumbled upon this today for the first time. I am so grateful for you, and I encourage you to check out our other episodes at liveloveengagepodcast.com if you haven't already. Um, and to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. We're on pretty much all of them. And you can also subscribe on YouTube as well. And what do you do? You have to hit the notification bell, and that's way you'll get notified when there's new episodes that come out. So be sure and do that as well. And I think that's going to do it for this edition of Live, Love, Engage. It's been a pleasure being with you for these last 3 years, and I'm looking forward to another year. And until next time, as always, I encourage you to go out and live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.